government procures 116 ambulances to support regional health facilities. We have the story in a bulletin today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nahabe Kajura, but first are the headlines. Chibalama ends ties with Bobby Wine to appoint new NUP leadership. In South Africa, ports paralyzed by cyber attack struggle to recover. And in our sports today, big spenders Aroa Hill captures midfielder Fawzul. Now, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Africa Today starts with one of our top stories. Now, the remarks were made by the Minister of Health, Dr. Ruth Aceng, said on Tuesday while updating the public on the progress on the containment of the current second wave of COVID-19, achievements registered during the lockdown, and enforcement measures to ensure that the pandemic is kept under control. We have more on this report.
The ambulances, according to Minister Aceng, were distributed to all regions of Uganda, while the 3 boat ambulances were placed in the islands of Kalangala, Buvuma and Lake Choga. The minister said that the ambulances are being used to transport both COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 patients to the health facilities. She added that 11 more boat ambulances and 6 Type B road ambulances have been procured and are expected in the country soon. Aceng said that specialized services like cancer, heart and others were temporarily interrupted at the beginning of the lockdown due to miscommunication and misunderstanding of the guidelines, which was later resolved. She appealed to all enforcement agencies to implement the statutory instruments and further ensure that activities that congregate people do not happen.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now, moving on, Moses Nkonge Chibalama, the founding president of the National Unity, Reconciliation and Development Party, which later metamorphosed into the National Unity Platform, has written to the Electoral Commission notifying them of his move to dissolve the party leadership after parting ways with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu alias Bobby Wine. We have more on this report.
Chibalama in 2020 signed a memorandum of understanding with the People Power Movement leadership led by Kyagulanyi, in which he handed over the party to them, and consequently the latter was appointed the NUP leader. However, in a July 22, 2021 letter to the Electoral Commission chairman, Chibalama says that whereas he has written to the NUP leadership over including his members in the NUP leadership, his pleas have fell on deaf ears. He consequently says the only option he has been left with is ending ties with Kyagulanyi and his group. Chibalama said that through his lawyers of MS Mugabe Shiak and company advocates, he wished to resolve the impasse with the leadership of the People Power Movement in the terms of the 11th July 2020 Memorandum of Understanding. The former police officer during Obote's government has also notified the Electoral Commission of his impending move to get new leadership for the party after ending ties with Robert Kyagulanyi. Consequently, Chibalama has put the Electoral Commission on notice that Kyagulanyi and all the other NUP leaders are eligible to hold the same positions.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now, moving on, the Minister for Security, Major General Jim Muhwezi, has assured Ugandans that there is no need to worry about the Russian company that was given the deal to install digital tracking devices in vehicles and motorcycles. We have more on this report.
The Ugandan government last week signed a 10-year agreement with joint stock company Global Security, a Russian firm that will see the latter install tracking devices in all public and private vehicles and motorcycles in the country. However, the deal has been questioned after it emerged that the company is facing a bankruptcy case and many other cases related to debts in Russian courts. Speaking about the matter for the first time, the security minister said there is nothing to worry about since everything has been catered for. According to documents, joint stock company Global Security was dragged to court by LLC Rasprom Technologies, another Russian company, with the request to have the former declared bankrupt. Also, in another case filed in 2019, Rasprom Technologies sued Global Security for failure to pay 16.6 million rubles, a case that the former won and applied to have Global Security declared bankrupt. There are several other cases in which joint stock company Global Security was dragged to court over dates with other Russian companies.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now let's go for a quick break. We shall come back with our international news. Welcome back from the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. Now, in our international news today, in a bid to reduce deaths caused by short circuits and electrical shocks when charging electronics, 2 Rwandan nationals have invented an initiative dubbed Kwanda Lab with just 5,000 Rwanda francs, with an aim to create wireless electricity for all technology and electronic devices and promote nationalism. We have more.
This initiative came after they had noticed how Ugandans face issues with short circuits and electrical shocks when charging electronics.
Technology from outside of our country, but also what we are looking for is about making our own technology. There is no need for going outside of our country to bring technology. We can supply home appliances and electronic devices wirelessly. How we do that, we just make table, or we embed that technology in a table or another home asset. Let's make a device of transmitter and receiver, where transmitter transmit that technology, that wireless electricity, and receiver receive that electricity wirelessly.
The founder of Kwanda Labs, Israel Nishimwe, said that his main purpose is to limit the importation of foreign technology and to instead promote made in Rwanda technology. Kwanda Labs was founded in 2018 with the target and purpose of solving social issues by using technology. James Ndekezi, co-founder of Kwanda Labs, said that instead of bringing technology from outside the country, they are now making their own and there is no need to go outside the country for technology. The wireless power transfer uses an electromagnetic field to transfer energy between 2 objects through electromagnetic induction. The founders of Kwanda Labs said that the wireless power transfer chargers supply electricity in an easier, faster and affordable manner. Kwanda Labs has expanded and now has several branches in different suburbs of Kigali. Wireless chargers are sold for less than $7, while transmitters cost $5 each.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now moving on, President Alassane Ouattara of the Ivory Coast greeted his predecessor and long-standing foe Laurent Gbagbo on Tuesday in an effort to defuse political tensions in the West African country. Now, this marked the first time Ouattara and Gbagbo met since the Ivory Coast's 2010 to 2011 civil war, which claimed more than 3,000 lives. We have more on this report.
Laurent Gbagbo, 76, has leapt into the spotlight since returning last month from Europe, where he won a landmark case at the International Criminal Court. In the last months of his stormy rule from 2000 to 2011, Gbagbo rejected defeat by Ouattara in a presidential ballot. The ensuing conflict claimed more than 3,000 lives. After he was ousted, Gbagbo was flown to The Hague to face charges of crimes against humanity, of which he was eventually acquitted. Gbagbo's spokesman Justin Katinan Kwon Chairman, urged the public not to make too much of the Tuesday meeting. Gbagbo stated that he had urged Ouattara to continue peace efforts by releasing other civil war prisoners. Gbagbo rose in the 1970s as a left-wing campaigner who helped end Ivory Coast's one-party system following independence from France in 1960. On July 11th, Gbagbo and Beidi, who were also once rivals, announced that they were united in the goal of forging final and sustainable peace.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now, let's turn your attention to Madagascar, where Oil Farm Benchmark Group said on Monday that it had been approached for funds to topple Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina days after the government said it had foiled an assassination plot. Now, Benchmark, a majority shareholder in crude extractor Madagascar Oil, said it had received an email from the Madagascan French citizen Paul soliciting 10 million euros for political destabilization purposes. We have more on this report.
On Saturday, local media, including the government communications agency Taratra, said police had summoned Madagascar Oil's managing director as part of a probe into the alleged plan to assassinate the president. Madagascar on Thursday said it had found evidence that some individuals had plotted to eliminate and neutralize various figures, including the president. 6 people, including 2 French citizens, have been arrested. Video footage of the investigators searching the house of one of the 2 French suspects showed the discovery of more than 930,000 euros and a firearm. News agency Taratra said that the alleged plotters also sought support from mining companies. The president's special advisor Patrick Rajoelina hinted on the media that Madagascan military officers could also be involved in the plot. At a brief news conference on Monday, Benchmark pledged its full support for the Madagascar government and condemned strongly any action aimed at undermining the security of a democratically elected state.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now moving on, the Tunisian President Kais Saied sacked the defense minister on Monday, a day after ousting the prime minister and suspending parliament, plunging the young democracy into a constitutional crisis in the midst of a pandemic. We have more.
Street clashes erupted Monday outside the army-barricaded parliament after Saied dismissed Prime Minister Hichem Mechichi and ordered parliament closed for 30 days, a move the biggest political party, Ennahda, described as a coup. Mechichi said he would hand power to the man chosen by the president in his first comments since the shock move. Saied declared on Sunday he had taken the necessary decisions to save Tunisia, the state and the Tunisian people following the street protests in multiple cities against the government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic in the North African country. The president, who under the constitution controls the armed forces, warned his opponents against taking up arms, threatening that if anyone fires a single bullet, their forces will respond with a rain of bullets. On Monday afternoon, the presidency announced the dismissals of Defense Minister Ibrahim Bataji and Hassina Ben Slimane, the acting justice minister.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. In a business news today, Transnet said on Tuesday that it was working to restore systems after the country's key port terminals suffered a major cyber attack last week. Now, the security intrusion began on July 22nd, but has since continued, forcing Transnet to switch to manual systems.
In a letter to its customers dated Monday, the company declared a force majeure clause that prevents a party from fulfilling a contract because of external and unforeseen circumstances. It said it had experienced an act of cyber attack security intrusion, and sabotage, which resulted in the disruption of normal processes and functions. As a result, operations have been severely disrupted in ports in Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Ngwara, as well as Durban is the busiest in sub-Saharan Africa. In a statement later on Tuesday, the firm said it expected to lift the force majeure soon following significant progress in restoring its systems. Dave Watts, a consultant to the South African Association of Freight Forwarders, said that the last few days have been the nail in the coffin, noting that the disruption had occurred at the peak of the citrus export season when South African farmers were rushing to get
with the US giant Pfizer in record time, said on Monday that it aimed to start trialing a malaria vaccine by next year. Now, the vaccine would be using the same breakthrough mRNA technology, which is at the core of COVID-19 vaccines to help fight the mosquito-borne disease, which kills more than 400,000 people every year, mainly young children in Africa. We have more.
Scientists believe mRNA vaccines, which provoke an immune response by delivering genetic molecules containing the code for key parts of a pathogen into human cells, could be a game changer against many diseases. They also take less time to develop than traditional vaccines. This project has been applauded and is backed by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as the European Union and the World Health Organization. While commenting about the vaccine project, World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that mRNA technology is helping them to save lives from COVID-19 and diseases that they have only known about for 19 months, adding that for malaria, which has been with us for millennia, eradicating it will be a dream come true.
mRNA technology is helping us to save lives from COVID-19, a disease that we have only known about for 19 months. Malaria has been with us for millennia. Eradicating it has been a long-held but unattainable dream. We still have a very long road to travel, but this is an ambitious and purposeful stride down that road. WHO remains committed to working with you, our partners, until we reach our destination, a world free of malaria.
BioNTech said it was also looking at setting up an mRNA hub in Africa so that future vaccines can be manufactured and distributed on the continent. A project that will surely help in the fight against the terrible disease, as many hope to eradicate malaria in this generation.
Now, in our sports news today, in preparation for the kick-off of the 2021-2022 Uganda Premier League season, management of newly promoted Arua Hills Sports Club continues to plan behind the scenes. Now, the club has contracted a holding midfielder, Ibrahim Faizul, who is good at tackling, passing, commanding, and
the West Nile-based entity is beefing up the team in all departments, and the playing wing is center focus of late. The Leopards, who are Christians as Kongolo, have announced the capture of experienced holding midfielder Ibrahim Faizul on 3 years tenure. Faizul joins free spending side from Wakiso Giants, who had secured him from Onduparaka. He brings premiership experience to the league newcomers, who believe they will compete favourably. He joins other fresh faces to the team as Junior Andama, a creative midfielder, and forward Yusufu Sharif Saka. Arua Hill is also reportedly eyeing former Uganda Cranes international Charles Livingstone Mbabazi as head coach as he transfers from Mbarara City. The club chief executive officer Tony Afeti confessed that they are building a formidable team that has a blend of youth and experienced players.
Well, thank you so much, our reporter. Now, before we end the bulletin, let's have a recap of our top stories. Chivalama ends ties with Bobby Wine to appoint new NUP leadership. In South Africa, ports paralyzed by cyber attack struggle to recover. And in our sports today, big spenders Arua Hill captures midfielder Fawzul. Thank you so much for joining us from where we started from. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall keep updating you. It is TV Africa, the right.
This is Africa, and that was the news.